Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name's Aisha Rosalie and this is my Reverts story. So I was born in the UK. My parents didn't believe in God. I wasn't brought up Christian. We didn't go to church or anything like this. No understanding creator. I always felt like the world was more than just what I see. And it wasn't until my trip to Turkey, I went to Istanbul, that I actually really discovered religion and God for the first time. So I went to Turkey by myself. I was traveling and I stayed in a hostel. I was just doing tours in Turkey. They have Blue Mosque. I wanted to visit, but first I wanted to buy a hijab. So I went to this little shop. I told the lady about my situation and she gave me an easy to wear hijab, which is actually the one I'm wearing now. It's very special to me as it's the hijab that I reverted in. I didn't want to go all the way back to my hostel to put it on. So I went to a Cafe Nero. And I had blonde hair at the time. I had my hair up in a ponytail and I walked in Cafe Nero and I went in the bathroom and I took this headscarf out the packet and I was like, oh, even though it was an easy to wear one, I still struggled a little bit. And I put it on and I looked in the mirror and I was like, I mean, yeah, I'm not wearing it for fashion. So I put it on and I left Cafe Nero and I started my journey to Blue Mosque, which was actually an hour and a half walk from my hostel. I decided to stop and I brought some prayer beads because when I was in Istanbul I kept seeing people using them. They were super cheap, like 50p, and I looked up what you're supposed to, do while you have them, and I was like, okay, subhanallah, but obviously I didn't know how to say it, so I was like subhanallah and then alhamdulillah and Allah Akbar. I was practicing it on the way there, like in my pocket. I was doing it like 33 times, like each one, subhanallah, 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 alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. It was only like a 33 bead one. I carried on my way to the mosque. I went in, I was kind of nervous because I felt like a fraud. Because obviously I wasn't Muslim, I was just wearing a headscarf and I thought, oh, what do people think I'm Muslim? I don't understand, and then I'm going to be embarrassed, and I started overthinking it. I didn't actually go in the area where people go to pray because I didn't know how to pray, I didn't know anything about that. So I just sat down on the floor and I just did my beads and I sat there for probably around an hour. I just enjoyed being there, I just felt so peaceful. And eventually I got up and I left, and as I was leaving, the Azan started playing. And I remember it was just so loud. Opposite Blue Mosque there's another mosque. I remember being in between these two massive mosques and the Azan playing so loudly, stopping in the street and just listening. I was like, alhamdulillah. Well, okay, I didn't say alhamdulillah because I wasn't Muslim at the time, but alhamdulillah, it was amazing. Straight after the Azan stopped, my phone that was on like 50% battery just randomly died. I was trying to navigate myself back to my hostel, but I couldn't. I kind of panicked a little bit, but then I stopped and I thought, this is fine. I just put my phone in my pocket. I took my beads out of my pocket and I carried on doing what I was doing before. Subhanallah, alhamdulillah, Allah Akbar. And I found my way back to the hostel eventually, alhamdulillah. And I got back to the hostel and I picked up a English translation of the Quran that was in the hostel and I started reading it. I guess everything went from there really. After that day I probably took my hijab off like once or twice because I wasn't Muslim, but whenever I could get away with wearing it I would, even when I come back to London. I don't know, I just enjoyed the feeling of wearing it. I mean, astaghfirullah, I didn't dress exactly like amazingly before I reverted. The idea of dressing modestly just seemed so nice to me. That kind of humility, or not showing off all the time. I guess I was quite a show off. I really enjoyed exploring that side of myself of just being humble and modest, and yeah, I just kept wearing it and I kept learning more about the religion, watching a lot of these YouTube videos, like these amazing, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, these amazing lecturers. And I promised myself that I would not declare my shahada until I finish reading the Quran, because myself to a religion that I haven't even read the book of. So I carried on watching lectures, I carried on learning, I carried on reading other books, and I also read the Quran. And alhamdulillah, when I finished the Quran, I declared my shahada by myself in my living room at night time with Allah as a witness, alhamdulillah. I guess I just kind of did it. It all happened in a very strange way. I was never planned. Even through the journey of learning, I never expected it to happen. It just kind of happened. And I guess that shows you the qadr of Allah, the power He has. Just taking a random little old girl like me and making her Muslim. Alhamdulillah. So that's my story. Maybe it's interesting, maybe it's not. I don't know. But thank you for listening anyway. This is my first video of, inshallah, more, where I just want to talk about what I'm learning, what I'm experiencing in September, which I'm going to do for 2 years. Inshallah, after I complete that, I want to become a student of knowledge. At the moment, it's just me, my laptop and my books. Just learning as much as I can. After all, we're going to be asked on the Day of Judgment what we did with our knowledge, and it's not just good enough seeking it and having it. We also need to apply it and give it. Knowledge is a gift. It's one of the best gifts we can ever have. So alhamdulillah, let's begin this journey. That was cheesy. I didn't like that.